Hey guys, so this is not going to be a video about brewing beer. I'm making broccoli soup, and this is based on a recipe from a video that Gordon Ramsay did. Made the soup a few times now. It's really good. I've done a couple of minor variations with, like basically with garlic and butter without anything extra. The ingredients are super simple. Broccoli and you don't even normally need this many heads, but I'm making this so there's enough for my roommate and I. And yeah, it's very simple. It's just broccoli boiled until it's soft, pureed, and that's it, really. So what I'm going to be doing a little differently with this one is adding some garlic. So I'm going to be using. I'm not using too many of this. I made the soup a little while ago, and I added too much garlic, and it was kind of it was pretty bad. So, yeah, garlic. I've also added a little bit of garlic, and it was really good. So, this is great. My roommate's a vegetarian, so I'm not going to be doing anything like adding butter or heavy cream like I would like to, but I'll do that when I make soup for myself in the future. So I don't cook a lot of fancy things, but I have done this recipe a couple of times, and it's really good. So what I've got going on over there is on the stove boiling a pot of water. I'll need that in a few minutes. Right now, what we want to do is, you don't, say you don't, you just want the florets. So if you have broccoli with a lot of stalk, like this one for example, try to avoid the stalk. Though if you do want to use the stock, what you want to do is cut that up separately and boil it. Chop it very finely, and then you would want to boil that separately because it's going to take longer for the hard fibers in the broccoli to soften than just the florets. And we'll get to that point. You got to watch the Gordon Ramsay video. That guy is kind of awesome when it comes to this stuff. So after fashion, this is just like, hey, I'm doing this too. Look at me, aren't I special? But soup is really good, and it goes really good with a beer. So what we're gonna do, a lot of this video is gonna kind of be like fast-forwarded parts where we're just like chopping stuff up because clearly that's not very interesting. So let's see. Let's see. All right, so what we're gonna do. Chop the florets here. Then I'm going to wash them. And I'm going to wash them after I cut them because it'll be a little easier to wash them. And then boil them. And seasoning is very critically important. You want to add salt to your water, then add this, and then add more salt. So if you don't, it doesn't taste as good. So anyway, next part will be kind of sped up as I'm just cutting this up. Welcome back, everybody. On this episode of Cooking with me, so I'm just gonna wash, try to get any whatever off. And give it a good shake. Yeah, looks pretty good. So, I don't know how well it comes through on this video, but so you see how green these florets are. When we boil them, We don't boil them for very long. We're going to boil it till they get soft. And then when these come out, the green is going to be a lot darker color. So hopefully that'll show up in this video a little bit. Let's see. Where are we at with water boiling? It shouldn't be boiling yet. We're going to be careful because it's hot. Yeah, so we're not there yet. It's starting to. Let's get there. Alright, so while we're waiting on that, let's go back over here and talk about garlic. So, in my other video, which I may or may not have published by now, I basically talk about a super easy way to peel garlic. In this case, I only want 3 cloves. Last time I used 6, and oh my god, it was just way too bitter. So we're going to use that for this volume. That should be okay. So, super simple. Mason jar. Boom, boom, boom. Throw your garlic in there. And shake the hell out of it. Just do this for, I mean, depends. In this case, it'll be quicker because I don't have that much garlic in it. You can already see the skins coming off. If the garlic's wet, it'll be a little harder to do this. Better do this with dry garlic. Let's see. Let's clear the cutting board off. Okay, let's take a look. It's in a book. Garlic. Okay, so here's a good example. So, simply by shaking it, peel. Super easy. Okay. And if some of the pieces aren't ready to peel, we'll just throw them back in and knock them around for another minute. But yeah, these are all right. Sometimes you might even just want to cut the end off of this like this before you shake it. So let's see. There we go. All comes right off. Just gotta help it out a bit. All right, and then the last one. Yeah, this definitely. If you have a lot of garlic. Watch the other video, I talk more about it, but I mean, come on, it's super simple. You take a hard metal pan or take a mason jar, or something, anything like that, and shake the hell out of it. But realize, like, it's got to come in contact with hard surface. That's the point. If it doesn't do that, then it's not gonna, it's not gonna do as well. So, what I'm gonna be doing with the garlic is kind of chopping it up and. I'm gonna make like a garlic paste out of it. No, I don't want to throw that away. I'm gonna make a garlic paste out of it, and so let me get my mortar and pestle. All right. So I've got the mortar and pestle here. So what I'm gonna do. All right, that's all cleaned off. Trim the edges off the end off the garlic, like, oh wait, whoops, this isn't working. Let me try from the other side. Let's try it this way. That might actually work better. Yeah, there we go. So that way I'm not on my light. Okay. Alright, that's fine, and that's fine. Okay. So what we're going to do is just kind of trim these. The only reason I'm really cutting these up is to make them easier to smush in the mortar and pestle. Make sure that's in focus. There we go. I'm sure any professional cooks or anyone who really chops garlic a lot is probably screaming at me right now. You're doing it wrong. But we do what we do. Okay. Alright, I mean, that's all I need to do, really. Could do finer, but it's not really going to matter a lot. Okay, so, next step. Mortar and pestle. So what I'm going to do is just add the. Let me get that out of there. Just gonna, add this in. Okay. All right, got that added in, and oh, I forgot the critical ingredients. Uh-oh, there it is. This is my critical ingredient. Salt. Sea salt. Sea salt. I mean, yeah, technically any salt will work. I'm using iodine because I wasn't really getting enough iodine in my diet. That's what I tell myself. Yeah, but here's what I'm doing. Most of the salt from your soup, if you do it this way, is going to come from the salt that you're adding here. So what this is going to do over the next few minutes is start drawing water out of the garlic, and then we'll do that, and then we get to smush it, and then that's the fun part. So meanwhile, let's go check the water. This is just going to, sorry, lastly, mix it well. Okay. Grab your salt, because for the next step, we're going back to the water. All right. Water over here. All right. And I need to get a hand towel because this is going to be really hot. And I'm dumb and I don't have oven mitts, so no one to blame except myself. All right. So let's take the top off this. Oh, lovely rolling boil. Great. That is well boiling. All right, so let's salt the heck out of this. So I did this once with ouch, I forgot. It's actually the first time I attempted to record this video without adding salt, and oh my god, that with the excess garlic was just, I had to throw the soup away. It just was not edible, really. It's pretty bad. Alright, so of course this is going to knock it out of boil, that's fine. Go ahead and add these and then cover it back up. There we go. Perfect. And last step, add more salt again. More salt. So this is where you get the idea there. Salt is kind of critical to the whole thing here. But the entire soup is really good, and you don't even need garlic. But if you do, I mean, most of it is really just entirely based on this. So what's going to happen is we're going to get like a broccoli stock, basically, out of this. And we'll see this in just a few minutes. I just want to stir this up, let it get back to a boil. The water will have like a nice green tinge to it when we're ready for that step. Right now, we're just going to cover that up and leave it alone for a few minutes. Okay, so let's go back to garlic. Now, not a lot of time has really passed on garlic yet, so I'm going to skip ahead a couple minutes after this has had time to sit. Go ahead and clean up the stuff, and you'll be able to see hopefully be able to see the difference. So, like, right now it's just salt. The salt is kind of like starting to draw water out. Alright, so now what we want to do is do the clink test, which is where you basically take your knife, and this is how you check if broccoli is ready. You should just be able to slide it through, even the stalks. Like in these stalks here, you should be able to just cut right through with barely any pressure at all. And that's essentially how you know that it's done. And this is now all done. So I'm just going to turn that off. And next step is just drain it into. Ow, that is still hot. Jesus. So we've got the broccoli over there. And we're not really going to let it cool off. This is actually all pretty quick, especially when you're just doing it and not recording a video. Yeah, this is the quote broccoli stock almost. So you can definitely tell it got a lot of green. There's a little piece of broccoli left in there. So we're actually not going to use most of that stock, but we do want to keep at least a cup blender. I can get that now. There we go. Good grips. I love this thing. It's nice. All right, let's get set back up. Do an update on our garlic. I'm still working. And we'll get back to that in a minute. All right, so it's pretty straightforward. Add add broccoli to blender, and then add some stock, and enough to make it about halfway full. Yeah, good. I think this broccoli works out. We're gonna have plenty of room. Let's see. Let's get it all out of here. And yeah. I want to grab this and just dump that in like that. Oh, good. Perfect. And there's like some leftover broccoli pieces I'm going to scrape out. Okay. So there's that. And let's try and get a close up here when I add, so you can see how much we're adding. Perfect. Okay, good view. So I'm going to get more or less about half. If it turns out that this is too thick for you at this stage, you can always add some of the extra broth later. But in my blender, which I don't remember how many ounces it is, but basically the line came up to about here. So it's a little more than half, but I'm not going to complain. Depending on your blender, have a rag, because hot things in blenders are notorious for going that way, or up, I mean. So I'm going to turn on pulse on my blender here. And the first couple steps, I just want to go through this and see, I want to make sure everything's actually rotating. So last time I did this, I had way too much broccoli in here, and it barely did anything. Okay. And then switch to puree. Okay, that's it. Let's check out the consistency. And just pop the top. Perfect. Ooh, that looks good. Smells good. Let's take a look. So, the consistency is it's very smooth. I don't want to say like about the consistency of baby food. But again, that depends on how thick it is. But basically, you want to have very small chunks, if any. It's supposed to be a very creamy kind of soup. Okay, so let's we're gonna move this to the side, and then take a look at garlic, and then finishing this up. Like I said, very, very easy soup to make. All right, so we're trying a new angle on this. So what I wanted to show is, I basically move the camera to try and get it real close. So if you look in here, you see how wet it is. And this is just from the salt. See the water a little bit? This is just water pulling, salt pulling water out of the garlic. So what I want to do is just kind of gently smush it, to be honest. And I'm just going to do this, and so you can kind of see more of the water coming out. And I'm just going to do this until I get a kind of a rough paste. And then I'm going to add some olive oil. And then we add this directly into the soup and puree it. The safe way to do this is going to be to add a little bit of the garlic, puree it, and then taste it, because we're going to be seasoning it in the blender. And I think it's getting blurry. There we go. So we're going to do the seasoning in the blender. And in the case where you want less garlic, and I want to be careful that I don't add too much like I did last time that I made this. And we are almost there. Easy, easy. And so when you're cooking, wash your hands. Like, if you touch something, touch your face, do that. Wash your hands, because I mean, you can see me like I'm sticking my fingers in, garlic and stuff, but I just wash my hands before I get on the camera too. So, and then I set the camera up, and then I wash my hands again. So now that I have to move the camera again, I'm gonna pause this and then wash my hands again. So, you know, it just be clean. Unless you're cooking for yourself, then who cares? But, all right, we'll be right back. All right, so next thing that I did was, off camera, I added olive oil and then switched it around. So, what I would do if I was making this myself is I would use butter and garlic and even add some heavy cream to this to thicken it up, because I like the fats and I like the taste. So, but this is for vegetarians too. So we have to be nice to our non-meat eating, animal loving brethren. So first thing I'm going to do, and I wish I could get this up a little higher, but can't. Short tripod. Is just to do a little taste and check the consistency. Well, it really is. It does not look as good on the camera, but it is really good. Let's see. Smells great. Oh, so good. Consistency is nice. Perfect consistency. All right, a little low on salt. So what I'm gonna start doing is first adding the garlic and this because it has salt in it. So we'll add about a half. Okay. And then we put this back on. All right, let's taste it again. Let's see. Again, same consistency. Already 10 times better. Still very subtle. Definitely need more salt. I'm not going to add all of the garlic. So in the future when you're doing this, use a little less garlic. But tastes good. Definitely tastes good. So I'm going to add a little bit more. So about another, what did I add last time? About half. So I'm going to add another half of this again. Oops. Little battery warning. So I'm just going to add another half of this again. And that should be enough. So out of 3 cloves, I used the equivalent of 2 cloves. So maybe that's the guideline. And we'll go ahead and stir this in just to help the soup out. And blend it again. And let's see. And before we blend, let's plug in the camera so I don't run out of battery. Perfect. Okay. Try it again. Also, I know I could be using mix, and I probably should be using mix instead of puree, but it's already pureed. It's not going to get more pureed. I don't think. All right. I mean, same green consistency. It's just subtly tasting better and better. That is really close. That has just the right amount of garlic. I wouldn't want to go any more than that. Okay, now I'm gonna grab more salt, add that, and then do pepper too. And grab those. So this time I'm just gonna mix them in to taste. Rather than pureeing it each time. I wanted to puree it because of the garlic was not in tiny little chunks like I wanted. So we'll just, new fork, be clean. Don't stick this thing that you've been eating back into the soup, especially when you're sharing it with people. I tell you, people are animals. All right, let's start off with a little more salt. And I'm not adding a specific amount, just eyeing it, mixing it. But remember to do it in small amounts because it's easier to remove. I'm sorry, it's easier to add than it is to remove. Let's get that in there real nice. Okay. Let's just take a little taste. Much better. Actually, I think that might be it. I do want to add some pepper. Yeah, actually, I don't think I need to add any more salt. Let's do this one more time. If anything, I might have used a tiny, tiny little bit less salt, but I kind of liked how it tastes. It's smooth. Tastes good. Okay. And then let's add a little bit of pepper here. And again, I'm just adding enough to kind of cover the surface. And then I'm gonna blend this in. Mix it in, I mean. I'm trying to go deep, get it deep. Okay. Let's try it again. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, we're done. So, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to give this one more mix. Just want to make sure everything gets mixed. Okay. And one final tasting, because it's really just because I want to eat the soup. And soup. Perfect. That is really good. I know I'm not not giving you a specific taste. It tastes like pepper and broccoli and soup. It's good. With some garlic. Again, I think the version with the butter tastes a little better, but that's me. So last thing I'm going to do, I'm not serving this right away, so I'm going to put this into I'm going to put some into a pot and then put the rest away because I want to make a steak right now. I have a steak in this thing, or some of this, and that's dinner for me basically. And then that's it. So I guess you can watch me pour it into a bowl. That'd be cool. Hold on, let me get a bowl.